Okay, pointing out on the minimum quality and pay adjustment. Again, that's why we're trying to stress clear language. And as you develop things like that, it may be good to develop a little think tank and get with and the wherewithal from field conditions and see how that works for you. Run yourself through best condition of interpretation of that spec, worst condition, and see which way you want to go with it. And then eventually use your think tank or whoever that person or group is, try to write that stuff down so maybe you have a reference point when and if you start using design build more, you've got a database to build upon to share with others, to make those to the point even your inspectors can answer it real quick. Remember, time is money to the contractor. What's the worst word you can tell the contractor when he asks you a question? No. Why is that the worst answer? It's timely notice of what your thoughts and expectations are, right? But here, put a spin on no. What does no mean? Not paying for that. However, no also can mean, acronym means next opportunity. So you got, if you put a positive spin on it, tell that to the contractor, at least you've given him timely notice of what his thoughts are, but then they may take a different route. So that's a way to help keep the contractor on notice what your expectations are so they can't say, hey, you never told me. But no, I told you, but I just gave you a new opportunity, right? There you go. You can always play that game with them. Oh, comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that even though the design builders did it differently, they providing that unit price, what they say per item, even though that's not what we're paying, it's important to do the estimates and also figuring out any liquidated damages.
Right.
For certain items.
Okay, did everybody hear what John said? He's talking about payment for each item, pay price is needed to help support the estimate and or getting the credit and or liquidated damages eventually. And actually, I'll touch on that near the end of my presentation. Actually, I probably ought to let you come up here and talk. Okay. Yeah, so example here is just like pay adjustments for each lot. That's just a sample of what you can use for your hot mix, which I assume is similar to what you guys may have in place already. Yeah. So again, with what you're bringing up, I'll bring into my discussion a little bit later as far as quantify and qualify. Okay, then we get into certifying materials and workmanship. Again, all this stuff I've been mentioned to you in design bid build, it's sort of like has been and it will be used out in construction, but notice all this past 4 or 5 slides are stuff you need to think about actually documenting, putting in your RFP. So everybody has, so the bidders have a better idea of your criteria to not only bid on, but what you'll rate them on and or eventually make the award on. But it helps put them on notice. So, okay, so like on this topic, we have the contractor formally certify. So in your current design build process, does the contractor formally certify that they're meeting all your quality requirements? Or is it just a email that says, I did all the quality requirements?
Certified.
They certify? Okay. And then when we talk about it's a materials and workmanship quality certificate, or is it just a materials certification? Okay, the reason we mention workmanship for federal highways, we talk about sampling materials. There is discussion upon workmanship, but not all states have a workmanship incorporated into their specifications and or criteria. So question there would be for your specs. Do your specs include a workmanship discussion? Yes? No? They don't call it that, but so it's implied. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So what would be a good example of a workmanship spec?
They have tolerances on straight line deviations, deviations, grade deviations, all
workmanship? Okay, yeah, and the reason we bring that up is like, if you're pulling the forms off of a concrete pour and it has honeycomb, what do most states have for their spec to keep from honeycomb being there? Even though it still does happen, I know that. So does your spec allow honeycomb? So what does the spec call out to say that that's not allowed, or if we find it, you fix it? See, and that's where we found out nationally, a lot of states, they don't like honeycomb, but when I asked for the spec to show that you're not supposed to have it, they would just say, well, it's not accepted. I'm going, well, in your specs, unless you say clear, monolithic, good finish, sort of like the line and grade thing you mentioned, the contractors will find those. So again, as you read through your specs, think through best case, worst case, and see where that leads you.